Hello, my friends, and welcome to...
Whoa,
Oh,
hey.
what the?
Did you forget you had an announcer?
No, not at all.
Sure you didn't. Welcome to the 100 subscriber episode. Did you like the new 3D intro? I should get a 3D model too.
But you're already a 3D object.
That's besides the point. I want to be shiny. Thanks for watching Red Spirit Mask, everyone.
Not only are we thanking those who found us through YouTube's website itself, but we're thanking those who found us on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, DeviantArt, RPGmaker.net, ZeldaUniverse.net, and of course, Miiverse, which we are doing a tribute to today. The main thing we will be doing on this episode is featuring your YouTube comments. Our first comment of the day comes from Marie. Marie asks, "Is this the red mask I know from Miiverse?" Yes, it is, Marie, and you may have noticed that we have a whole tribute to Miiverse going, and I hope this episode acts as a beacon to those who are still trying to find their old pal Red Mask. You can see my old user icon over there and a number of posts that I did and during my time at Miiverse. For those of you who don't know, Miiverse was a video game social media website that has recently been discontinued. Some of my old friends on Miiverse may notice that there's a big difference in quality between the drawings I did on Miiverse and the paintings I'm doing here on YouTube. And there's a good reason for that. I happen to have tendonitis in my right hand, so trying to do some serious drawings on that tiny digital screen just is too much pain for what it's worth. So, instead, I usually just did more light-hearted doodles. And of course I would also use Miiverse to chat with my fellow gamer friends. That being said, I hope everyone enjoys this little Miiverse tribute. I know that many people, including myself, definitely miss that website. Our second comment of the day comes from Paradigm T101. He says, "Nice channel, man. Keep up the good work." This was Paradigm's first comment on my YouTube channel, and he's made many more comments on the channel since then. I appreciate your support, my friend. Our third comment of the day comes from Game Over Jessie. That's right, Game Over Jessie, the famous Zelda YouTuber, actually happened to come onto my channel and left a comment. He says, "This is awesome," in reference to that Ganon painting I made. Thank you very much, Jessie, and I hope you enjoy the other artwork that I have on this channel. Jaclyn Harl TV says, "Found your view on it interesting. Would indeed like to see you go in deeper and even more so once the movie comes out." She is, of course, referencing the trailer analysis we did of the Black Panther. And yes, when the movie comes out, what I'm going to do is, at first, when it's in theaters, I'm going to do a general review. Maybe a little bit of analysis, but overall just a general review. Because I'm going to save the analysis for when the DVD and Blu-ray comes out so I can pause and rewind the film and really dig in deep and see what's in there. So I hope you look forward to that. Poppy Rama says, "Very glad to see someone finally breaking down the various African elements in the trailer. I myself only recognized a few things, particularly the Nadabele house designs. I saw a car or two with those designs during a trip to Durban, actually, and I really like a car like that. I actually know what kind of cars he's talking about. I've seen them myself. I'll show them on screen. Very cool. And the semi-generic West African garb on the waterfall scene, since most of my African friends are from those countries. I'm a little surprised you didn't mention the Osa-inspired face paint that Shuri, the girl with the panther guns, is wearing, since that was, to me, actually the most obvious thing. You are correct, my friend, I did miss out on that. I think the reason I missed that was I was too focused on those Samus Aran-like arm cannons she had. But yes, it's good to have a viewer like you who can point these things out. Thank you very much. Urban Manguni says, "Thanks for commenting on my video. You did this quite nicely. Might I ask where you're currently doing or did your studies on African culture?" I've actually been asked a similar question before, so let me address this to the audience. That I started learning about Africa all the way in 2008. That was in a local college of mine, and I, of course, used that knowledge I was learning about Africa to inform the artwork I did in college, and have continued to learn about Africa after college as well, because studying Africa never ends, because one can never know everything there is to know about Africa, and that's part of the fun. She goes on to ask, "And how did I not see those writings?" She, of course, is referring to the Nisbiti writings that are on the throne room of T'Challa in the Black Panther trailer. I could probably translate 1 or 2 symbols my grandfather taught me, unless of course they mean something different up north, and I love that reference you made about beauty standards with reference to the lip plates. A lot of people give people who get them done shit for them. Yes, unfortunately there is still a lot of ignorance in the world, but thankfully you and many others out there understand that we need to celebrate our cultural differences, because it's those cultural differences that make this world an interesting and vibrant place to live. Richard Cruz says, just draw anime! There you go, Richard. There you go. There's an animu for you. I did that back in high school. I kind of wish I'd drawn anime I cared for a bit more, but yeah, that was Trinity Blood. I thought it was cool at the time, but I didn't actually finish watching that anime. I wish I had drawn something from Cowboy Bebop or Trigun or Dragon Ball Z or something, but oh well. I probably do have some kind of Dragon Ball Z artwork lying around here somewhere, but that's what I could find at the time. Anyway, Richard goes on to say, your drawings are very interesting. Well, thank you very much, Richard. I appreciate that. Edmund Janice says, enjoyed your video, but you need a motherfucking lav mic. He is, of course, referring to a type of microphone that you attach to your lapel. The microphone I have is a Blue Snowball mic, and if used properly, it is a very good microphone. This comment he made was on my very first video where the audio was too low. I've since improved my audio quality on my videos quite a bit. I hope that my viewers have noticed that, and hopefully we will continue to improve and improve and improve as we go on. Who knows, maybe if this YouTube channel becomes incredibly successful, we might get one of those big old boom mics that the professionals use. You never know. Sam Entertainment House comments, dude, these videos must take you a long time to make, just judging from the amount of editing with regards to the placement of images at different times. You are correct, my friend. Editing can take up a very long amount of time. The last video I made, I spent 3 days straight of editing to put it out. And speaking of time, I've been thinking about doing more videos that use less face cam. That way I can put out videos a little bit more frequently. If you want an example of this, check out the Superman video that I did. There's a little bit of face cam in there, but for the most part there isn't, and that allowed me to make that video at a much more smoother and quicker time. Jerome says, quack quack. Vivian S. asks, can you do a video about the Hausa people and their warriors, please? Include their garments, their weapons, and everything you find on them. Thank you. I definitely want to do this at some point, and I recently decided how I want to do it as well, which is I want to do a painting video where I paint something that is inspired by Hausa art while I discuss the Hausa culture. And speaking of video requests, a friend of mine on Miiverse once asked if I could do a review of the Final Fantasy series, which he asked because he knows that I played every single old school Final Fantasy game. Now this of course would be a non-educational video, and I think it would be nice to do some non-educational videos here and there on the channel. Hopefully people would be on board with that. Some of the ideas I've had is live stream drawings, live stream 3D modeling. Some of this will also be educational too, because what I want to 3D model is African masks, for example. We also can do top 10s and top 5 lists. That's something I've been wanting to do. Like, for example, top 10 superheroes, top 10 African architecture, top 5 Zelda games, top 5 African thrones. So, you know, we'll get a mix in there of all sorts of different things. Anthony J. Sloan says, great insight. Thanks for all your work and scholarship. Thank you very much, Anthony. Always good to hear from you. And speaking of scholarship, that reminds me of another type of video I'd like to do on the channel, and that would be book reviews. See, the thing is, ever since starting this YouTube channel, I haven't had as much time to read some books and do some research. So, I was thinking of doing some book reviews of some of the books I've borrowed from the library, which the library definitely wants to get back from me. So, for example, like this book I've been thinking about doing, Art and Oracle, African Art and Rituals of Divination. Maybe you'll see a review of that book in the near future. Our friend Veronica States, fantastic artwork, and the colors are very eye-catching. One of your beautiful tribal masks resembles the tribal mask on the Chameleon album by Herbie Hancock. Check it out. She is, of course, referring to this mask right here, the Bale Keple mask, and she is, in fact, correct. That is the same exact mask. Turns out I have the same taste in African art as good old Herbie Hancock. He's a classic jazz musician if you haven't heard of him. Thanks for mentioning this, Veronica, and thank you for commenting on so many of my videos. Next up we have Trank Ending Media. He says, Red Spirit Mask took a few pictures at the Smithsonian. I can email them to you once sorted. I actually intend on showing arts and crafts from specific cultures on their own, and then how they are similar with others, because in all honesty, nothing new under the sun. So, as I told my friend here, if you want to send me some images, there is technically an email attached to this YouTube page, but the best way to send me images is through Twitter. So if you want to send me some images, then please check out the Twitter. Our final highlighted YouTube comment of the day comes from Super Seth. He says, I loved all the sketches you did as well as the final product. Since watching your channel, I've had far more of a personal interest in African art and culture. I've recently incorporated a Bambara mask into one of my character concepts. I won't get into too much detail about the character itself, but I've slightly altered a Bambara mask to make it appear more insect-like, adding more eye holes as well as hair protrusions on the chin. Seth, that's fantastic to know that this channel is helping you and others to have a better appreciation of African art and culture. Thank you very much for this comment. And since you mentioned insects, you may also like the bois butterfly mask, so check that out. Also, you mentioned the Bambara, aka the Bamana people. I will have a full video about them in the future. By the way, you may be wondering why we have yet to discuss at length the Bale Keple mask. And that's because ever since this YouTube channel has started, I've had a video planned for that, as well as a bunch of other videos planned. And those will come eventually, as well as the videos that we discussed today. It will take some time, but I hope you look forward to those. Before we conclude today's episode, I want to give two quick shout-outs to two different YouTube channels. One being Funny Please. Funny Please is a comedy YouTube channel, and the editor over there actually introduced me to the video editor that I use on the vast majority of my videos. So without their help, my YouTube channel would not be the quality that it is today. Full disclosure, I've actually helped their YouTube channel out a bit as well. I helped film their recent Matrix parody video. It's a really good one. You should check that one out. The other YouTuber I want to highlight is Afric Network. And the reason why I'm highlighting his channel is because he was actually the one who inspired me to get onto YouTube in the first place. When I saw his videos, I thought to myself, I should be sharing what I know about Africa as well. And not only that, but also I could share my paintings and talk about how my art is influenced by various African cultures. So if you like learning about Africa on my channel, you may also enjoy learning about Africa on his channel as well. Thanks again for subscribing. Now I want to let everyone watching know that a number of the commenters who were highlighted in today's video also have YouTube channels of their own, so you can check those out as well. There are of course many comments I didn't have time to highlight today, but I want you all to know that I appreciate your comments very much. Thank you.